Hi ladies and gentlemen, today is December 13th, 2016, and I'm a little frustrated. I guess maybe a lot of people are right now. The fight's not out of me. That's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, the second revolution is going to get into high gear here because we see, I think, that the establishment run by the New World Order, the powers that be, the banks, the international corporations, the traders, is not letting up. And it's going to do anything it can to hold on to power. And I've warned about that for a long time, that they would just as soon destroy everything as to lose power. And I think for any of you who have your eyes opened at all and your ears unstopped at all, does that sound familiar? The blind will see, the deaf will regain their hearing. I don't know. But I know that the enemies of the perfect law of liberty, and I always talk about that first, and the Constitution, and the whole concept of freedom are totally at war with us right now. And all of those agencies and all of those individuals are showing their true colors at this point. Like I said, this is the time for the great divide. And you'll plainly see what's evil and what's good, and you have to choose. Why do I say I get frustrated? Well, I have pages and pages of notes. I go through constantly looking for information and doing decision matrices to try to find out what the truth is, as some other people do. And I don't have time to cover it all. There's no way in 15, I'd have to do this 24 hours a day. And some people do. Let me get to the crux of this video, because it's only really one thing. Okay? When the election happened for Donald Trump, remember Vivication versus Lassitude, the video I made? Remember my plea to Dr. Pachinik and President-elect Trump that they've got to go on the offensive? And you hear, Alex Jones even saying that now. He backed off of that initially, saying, well, Trump's got his Trump cards and, we got to let him run this on his own or whatever. And I was saying, no. There's a double envelopment coming. They're going to hit us with everything. A call for a new election. I didn't really know that they'd be that bold, even considering that. We're then trying to say that the Russians, of all people, have manipulated the U.S. election system. Do you realize that when they say that, how they're saying how incompetent they are, if that were true? They're not incompetent. They know exactly what they're doing. Not the Russians. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about Obama, the CIA, the deep state, the shadow government, the New World Order, Soros, and all of those, the Federal Reserve, all of that. And again, I spend all my time going through it and trying to figure out what's happening next. And then I can see it, and I can't believe it. Because they really are doing this. Are we going to let them? So what am I saying? I've talked a long time about the CIA being the tool by which they have taken over this country. It is the tool. Why? Oh, people say, oh, it's the banks. Oh, it's the Jews. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Look, the intelligence agencies, the CIA in particular, answers to no one, despite what the appearances are. Look at what happened just now. Oh, well, you have secret intelligence on the Russians hacking us. We'd like to see it. Congress says, oh, no, you can't see it. It's a secret report, the CIA says. Yeah, call national security so that you don't have to prove that you're lying, or to give proof that you're lying. The CIA was started after World War II by Wall Street bankers and Wall Street lawyers. That's who it is. That's who they support. That's who they get their marching orders from. They don't listen to the President of the United States. They'll lie to him. I'm not saying that all CIA people are bad, but the people that control the agency, I keep hearing all this crap about rogue people in the CIA. The top of the structure is the problem. It is the rogue part. They're liars, deceivers, murderers, and now, not that they haven't for years, they're turning on the American people because they think they might be able to salvage their power by saying that Donald Trump was put in because of the Russians. Really? The CIA is going to send the CIA to the Electoral College and tell them what the problem is with the Trump election, with the Russians being involved, or whatever other crap they're going to give them in secret. Wow. George Soros, Hillary Clinton, John Podesta. As some other commentators have pointed out, why aren't the CIA worried about Chinese connections to the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation? Saudi Arabia. I know they're not considered an enemy like the Chinese would be or the Russians, but they're still giving money, foreign money, to a presidential campaign. But all of that's swept under the rug. The emails, oh, how terrible it was. And I'm not saying the Russians hacked them. It wasn't the Russians. It was our own intelligence people, the good ones, that put that stuff out. But they want to say, oh, the Russians hacked us. Oh, really? Why do we make such a big deal? Even Reince Priebus. Oh, it's terrible that we're hacked. I don't like that. Hey, that's not the issue. The issue is what was in those emails, what was in those leaks, what was in those cables, what was the content, what was going on. And that's swept under the rug by some pretense that we've got some righteous indignation that we got hacked, which wouldn't have happened in the first place if stupid ass, that whore, Clinton, didn't have her server in a private place. The American people are constantly being ripped off and deluded. And it's the CIA that has done it, and I've been talking about this for how long? It's the tool by which it's been done. Yes, again, the Federal Reserve is part of it and all of that. I'm going to make my point one more time. The intelligence agencies are independent governments, particularly the CIA. They get funds that are secret, and then they do all these other things like sell drugs, bring in drugs, weapons sales, blackmail. They get money that they don't have to account for. The Pentagon loses what? $3 trillion before 9/11? And nobody even bothers to make it into account. Where do you think that money went? To the shadow government to operate, and the CIA is the principal tool of that. The DOD is just, it's a sideshow, really. It's just the fundraiser. President Kennedy was right. Eisenhower was right. The CIA needs to be exploded into thousands of pieces, obliterated. But it's going to be hard now because they've got trillions of dollars at their disposal. Bring it down a notch. 2013, the NDAA repeals the Smith-Mundt Act of 1947. Everything that the church hearings brought out in the 1970s is totally forgotten about how corrupt the CIA is and influencing the American people, how we think. And it's gotten to the point where it's in an entertainment. It's not in just the news. It's in almost every media, except those like this one. These little guys that are out there trying to get the truth out, who now they want to shut down as the fake news. Why? Because we're putting the spotlight on these cockroaches and these rats. Now we have the Congress, both houses, going along with the CIA. Now, most of these people are tools of the CIA anyway. As soon as you get elected, you get your first intel briefing, and it says, you do what we tell you or you'll be on the line. So they pass this thing that's going to be in the next NDAA, which is going to fund a State Department agency to check out the propaganda and control it. Yeah, from everywhere but where it's supposed to be controlled, which is at the government. independent press in this country was the only thing, and it didn't say you had to have journalistic credentials. Freedom of speech and the freedom of the press was the only thing mentioned in the Constitution that's protected as an occupation. Why? Because you must shine the light on the cockroaches for the people to remain free. But of course the CIA, with Operation Mockingbird, got control of the media. Media Matters at the White House. You know, you can listen to these newscasts all across the different MSMs, and almost word for word they say the same thing. So yeah, I'm really angry today because, like I told Donald Trump and Dr. Pachinik, we've got to go on the offensive. Wow. I wanted to bring some stuff up on that, but I'm really thinking that American people just have to get angry. And they have to say, no, the CIA is out of here. Well, I'll tell you something, and I'm going to end it with this. Dr. Pachinik, about 2 years ago, said that he supported a military coup. And I was against that because I don't trust who runs the DOD. I don't trust the bureaucrats there, who most of them are CIA. I know for a fact that CIA officers and agents are embedded in the military, and they're probably like ants in the Department of Defense. Everywhere. Hell, out in the field we had them. They're like political, commissars out there to see what you're talking about, as low down as companies in the Army companies. Maybe even the platoons, but definitely the companies. I mean, it's unbelievable where these people are. And it's for them. Do you understand? It's for the bankers. It's for the Wall Street bankers, the lawyers, the New World Order, the international bankers who are trying to control this planet for their own purposes and to annihilate everyone else. First economically and then literally. Anyway, I said I was against the military coup. Well, I'll tell you what. They're going to come after you, CIA. I think you're going too far. And that's probably good. As bad as the military has been and how it's been used to further your purposes, they're going to come after you. And you know what? I'm going to clap. They're going to hunt you down if you keep this up, if you keep trying to influence the American people the way you have been. And now, to go along with Soros and unseat President-elect Donald Trump. So, you know what? You keep doing this, CIA and the military, they'll call it rogue aspects of the military. Whatever. They're going to come for you. They're going to come for you. And all the traitors that have been taking the liberties of the American people away, because you know what? I think we're done with you. I think we're done. They know who you are. And I've heard some complaints about Donald Trump putting military people in his cabinet. And that is a little difficult for me. But you know what? I think there's a reason why he's doing it. Because he needs the solid military backing to come after you criminal traitors. And use the military to do it. Because we can't really trust the FBI. They've shown their hand on too many things. Too many things. That they can't be relied upon. I'm not even going to go into that. So you know what? I cede to Dr. Pachinik. Yes, we need the military to go after you. Not to change the government of the United States, but to go after the very filthy, disgusting, corrupting, degraded, putrefied center core, which is the CIA, and destroy you, blow you into billions of bits of pieces, and every agency and bureau that has supported your program.